The unbelievable true story behind Hitman on Netflix. Who was Gary Johnson? The true crime genre has become increasingly popular in recent years, with many people turning to documentaries and podcasts to satisfy their morbid curiosity about real-life crimes. One such documentary that has captured the attention of viewers is Hitman, David Foster and the Death of Judy Garland on Netflix. The documentary tells the unbelievable true story of the murder-for-hire plot orchestrated by a man named David Foster, who was hired to kill Judy Garland's ex-husband, Sid Luft. What makes this story even more shocking is the fact that Foster claimed to have learned about murder by reading a book titled Hitman, a technical manual for independent contractors. But who was Gary Johnson, the author of this infamous book, and what role did his writing play in the murder-for-hire plot? Gary Johnson was a pseudonym used by a man named James Perry, who self-published the book Hitman in 1983 through his company Paladin Press. The book was marketed as a guide for would-be contract killers, offering detailed instructions on how to carry out a murder-for-hire without getting caught. The contents of the book were truly disturbing, with chapters on topics such as selecting a weapon, planning an alibi, and disposing of evidence. Despite the controversial nature of the book, Hitman gained a following among true crime enthusiasts and aspiring criminals alike. In 1993, James Perry's dark creation came to the attention of David Foster, a con artist who had been hired by a woman named Sherry Crook to kill her estranged husband, Sid Luft. Foster used Hitman as a guide for planning the murder, following the book's instructions to the letter. In May 1993, Foster carried out the murder of Sid Luft, shooting him in his home in California. The murder was almost pulled off perfectly, with Foster staging the scene to make it look like a botched robbery. However, he made a crucial mistake by leaving behind a piece of evidence that ultimately led to his arrest. After Foster's arrest, the true extent of his involvement with Hitman came to light. It was revealed that he had used the book as a blueprint for the murder, following its instructions on how to plan and carry out a hit. The case sparked outrage and controversy, leading to a legal battle between the families of the victims and Paladin Press, the publisher of Hitman. In a shocking turn of events, the families of the victims sued Paladin Press for publishing a book that they claimed had influenced Foster's actions. The case went all the way to the Supreme Court, where Paladin Press ultimately lost and was ordered to pay millions of dollars in damages to the families. The story of Hitman, and its role in the murder-for-hire plot, is a chilling reminder of the power of words and the influence they can have on individuals. While James Perry claimed that Hitman was purely a work of fiction and not intended to incite violence, the tragic events that followed its publication tell a different story. The documentary Hitman, David Foster and the Death of Judy Garland, sheds light on this dark chapter in true crime history, exposing the devastating consequences of a book that was meant to entertain but ultimately inspired a heinous act. In the end, the true story behind Hitman is a cautionary tale about the dangers of glorifying violence and the responsibility that authors and publishers have to consider the potential impact of their work. As viewers watch the documentary on Netflix, they are left to ponder the chilling question: who was Gary Johnson, and what role did his writing play in the tragic events that unfolded as a result of Hitman?